The word G20 is the South African word of the year for 2025. G20 was up against such words as Government of National Unity, tariffs, femicide, and the Madlanga Commission. The annual survey was conducted by PanSALB African Language Board in partnership with media research company Focal Points. For more on this, I'm joined by PanSALB Acting CEO Julius Dantile. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Dantile. Thanks very much for your time. Perhaps just as a bit of background as to why you keep doing this year in and year out, and what its inherent value could perhaps be.
Good afternoon, Vio, and good afternoon to your viewers. And the reason that we do this is to highlight the use of language in the media context. And also it is to highlight the importance of how technology can assist us to understand some of the nuances that are involved in language use. Because without technology, it may be very easy, difficult to identify the actual weight in the media, because it would be manual. But because of technology, especially artificial intelligence, we working with the company that assisted us. They are using the technology, and we are able to verify the use of a particular word in a broader context. And also is to highlight what was the trend of the year in this actual, like in the year that we are announcing this particular word. What were the issues that were key in terms of our society? What were the discussions? What were we talking about in social media? What our prime media platforms were talking about? What were the news about? So it is a highlight of that particular kind. What is good is that it changes year in and year out. It's sometimes it's not a specific language, but then it becomes very interesting that it drives that particular idea of a particular word that dominated the media platforms in a particular year.
G20. How did it, what were the margins between it and the other words that it was up against?
The margins were not that much, but then because of our media, I would say that it's leaning towards more broader international and geopolitical issues. We then saw those particular margins going up, but also it was followed by Madlanga, followed by the Madlanga Commission, followed by tariffs, because this year saw those particular geopolitical issues getting to be topical across the board, and also they are affecting South Africa. So you have those kind of small margins here and there in terms of these words, how they were used in different media platforms.
But then beyond their popularity, is there something else that these words or the most frequent use of these words actually tells us about ourselves?
Yes, definitely. It tells us, what do we talk about as a nation? What attracts us as a nation? This year saw a number of words contesting in this particular space because of various issues that were topical. There are words like concepts like WOTD. So those kind of words, clock hit, and words that then were in social media that were coming up, demonstrating our trends, how as society engage some of these particular issues. For instance, in the social media, the word of the year is valid, which then is emanating from how then the young people are utilizing that particular word as a particular trend of saying something that they see as true, as a fact, and as also as an endorsement. It then they say it's valid. And there are other ones that were coming up. The word like femicide, it picked up because of the campaign that was there in November around the critical issue of gender issues in the country. And we then see this trend of use of these words in media, often in news, often in also in advertising. You'll find that there are some of the brands, which I won't name here, that will pick up this particular name and run with it for a particular period, and that name, like a word, become kind of a popular word. But also, it's not just an issue of popularity. It is also the trends of how the society thinks and how the society behave itself. Remember, a word is what we utter on a daily basis. It's what we think. It's what we try to put into action. So it's about what the society has been thinking about. Remember, G20 was being prepared with meetings after meetings before the actual summit. So for the whole year, it was trending, it was events, it was meetings, it was business meetings, it was arts and culture meetings. And also it became an issue because America was not attending, which is a global superpower. So that weighed its own from the geopolitical perspective, then it gives a particular high trending levels in terms of how it is used in the media.
But let's explore a bit, I mean, words that, that perhaps weren't used as often by your mainstream media, but were very popular on social media, for example. Were there such words?
Yes. We thought of saying let's separate the media, because in the media the methodology we use with the company focal point is that we get into the actual writings, into the actual output clips and mentioning of that particular word. But then when we go into the social media, we then look at the trends. What words then were used most? For instance, the words like, as I said, valid is the one that was out, and also the word nonchalant, the word notolazana, clock hit, ama 1K, how konakali. So these are the words that at a particular period in the year that were trending because of how people were then utilizing those particular words. So outside the the media platforms, so you will see those kinds of words coming through from the perspective of the how people are using the social media to express themselves, or to articulate, or even to laugh to themselves as society. If you take the WOTD outfit of the day, it trends because it gives you an idea that people are talking about people who are regarded as prisoners, but when they go and appear in certain court platforms, judicial platforms, or be it a commission, these people come out with real trends in terms of the brands and the outfit that they wear, but they're in jail. So this talks to how social media also influences us, because sometimes there are people that these people may be looking to them and say, wow, this guy is dressing so expensively. How and what what makes them to dress like that? And these are people that are in prison, they're facing trials, and it really puts a particular trend in terms of social media as society, how as society we think about certain people and how do they behave in terms of what we do.
Interesting times, interesting words. PanSALB Acting CEO Julius Dantile, thank you very much for your time.